Okay, so this next dream I had is going to talk about um, war, World War, and war with the United States. So it starts off with I had this dream a while ago, around the time that I had the dream about the COVID, and before I understood that it was about COVID. So I was walking through the plaza by my house, and as I was walking, I saw these fighter jets flying overhead. So I looked over um, by the next plaza over, and everything got red, and it indicated that a bomb had been dropped on the far side of the plaza. And they began to drop bombs all around me. And then I had a dream within a vision that basically I was on a train and the whole train turned red, indicating that it was bombed and there was lots of killing going on. So that's the first part of that dream. That one was very short. And the next part is I'm just going to look at my notes here about the desolated cities. So the next dream I had, which is one of the more recent dreams, where this is another one where it crosses over, where my state, New York, and other states, it sort of crossed over, where it was like New England states. So, dream indicating that would be in New England. So I was walking through a city area and it was completely desolated. There was barely any people except for me and maybe a few other people. But the city was completely, I would say, decimated, where buildings were falling down and there was lots of destruction. And so, I was unable to really find anybody around except for one house, which I was able to um, go into. Um, I looked over towards the train station, and there it was completely blown off the map. Where the tracks started, and then they just stopped and went into like the water or the sky, and it was just like blown off, like an area had disappeared. Excuse me. And so it was just like it was bombed and it just like disappeared off. It just there it wasn't anymore. So the next dream that I had was about New York City. And so this one is a longer one, which is probably going to make the video longer. But this is also a dream about destruction. And also for this dream, I have to look at my notes because it's important that I remember everything. So I'm going to go into my dream about New York City, where I was walking through New York City. Well, first I was in an Egyptian tomb where it was gold, and I saw a pharaoh, and he was standing like straight up. But even though he was standing straight up and he was awake, he was able to astral travel outside of his body. So he was standing straight up like a board. He came out of his body, and I heard a voice say, "They walk with him." And it was an emphasized him, but it wasn't capital H. It was a lowercase h, which to me was talking about Satan. We usually put the uppercase H with God, but it was like him was emphasized, but it was a lowercase h, so it indicated to me that it was a false god. I was brought to a lounge area where I saw an Egyptian couch, and I knew that there had been women around. I saw some women, but I knew that there was women going on, going around, and I heard a voice that said they practiced sex with demons. And that part of the dream, I was grieved, and the Lord showed me outside of where Egypt had become New York City. Um, I walked onto what looked like a party scene by a river that where there was music and a girl dancing with her guy friends, and she had an Egyptian wig on. But she didn't look Egyptian. She looked like she was a European American. She looked right at me, and there were drinks on the table. They were drinking, dancing, and celebrating. And as she looked right at me, I looked out into the river where I saw a giant tower, a singular tower that had blue lights and it had a weird shape, which I later found out was shaped like the World Trade Center, and it began to sway like it was going to fall. I knew that some kind of destruction was coming. Now, some people believe that a tidal wave will come for New York City, but all that I saw was that the tower was swaying like something was knocking it over or destroying its foundation, like something like it was going to fall. So, and then for the last part, it's a short dream where I saw a world map of the Americas, North America, South America, and or the United States and Canada, which is North America. And I saw the east side of the world, Asia, Europe, and Africa. So I saw a giant map. I saw two flags, and yellow was spread over the whole United States. I saw two yellow flags with animals on it. One was a bear, and one was some kind of bird, like an eagle. And there was a warship in the middle of, in the shape of a continent. It was like a continent, but it was the shape of a warship, and it was facing towards the United States, and it was between North America and South America, that this side of the world, North America, South America, and the Eastern world, Asia, Europe, and Africa. And this warship was facing the United States, and it was coming towards it. So that dream was really short. So now, for the rest of the half, I'm going to get into the interpretation, which I got with the help of an elder. And so, with the help of this elder, I shared my dream with him. I believe it to be the coming world war and the attack on the United States, which the Bible talks about. And so, I'm just reporting my belief about what the Bible is talking about, what will happen in the end days, and believe that the United States fits Mystery Babylon is talked about in the book of Revelation. So, and I consider these dreams warnings. Also, that I saw the destruction to the train tracks, and I saw destruction to roads. So I believe that it's a warning about transportation. That there it will not be safe. Um, because of the coming attacks. The cities were utterly desolate and destroyed, of which I saw no survivors. Um, and there was no survivors except for me and some other people that had taken me into their place, which I believe that God will deliver his people and hide them, and he will warn his people. And that's why I was able to find a place to hide in this utterly desolate ghost town. I believe God was showing me the destruction coming to New York City, as other people have seen, as he showed others that he was destroying it. And that the New York City has the likeness or the spiritual atmosphere of Egypt, full of witchcraft and sexual immorality, idolatry, and all worship of other gods. And basically the same thing, the same sins of Egypt. Just a lot of also corruption going on there, business corruption as well, just all sorts of corruptions. Um, you know, financial crimes and crimes to do with money as well. Just all sorts, every nature of uh, crime and evil going on there. And I believe God wanted me to warn through these dreams that, um, what was will be again. So if God punished Sodom and Gomorrah, if he punished Egypt, any area that has their likeness, God will have to treat the same, as the Bible says. So, and that is the warning I felt compelled to give about what the Bible says is coming, and I had dreams about these. In the description box below, I will include scriptures. So, and then I have a few more dreams to come after this, but that's my dream about war and destruction coming, which is basically about the judgment that the world will be under, that God will bring, which is what the Bible talks about. Okay.